Good evening, taxpayers of Cumberland County and parents of the West Shore School District. This is Mariana, and welcome to the Watchdog Report, where we will be howling out some truths tonight. Okay, so I have been, since before the election, getting emails and questions about one particular school board candidate that was voted in, although I can't really even say voted in because there was nobody that was running against this person. And the running mate the person had was Beaker. Okay. So we're talking about Mary Dankosky. So parents have been asking, is it true that she was a school principal? And what happened? Why isn't she a school principal anymore? And that's a very good question. Now, we didn't stop back then to really dig deep, okay, because we were too busy with the elections and all the chicanery around that election and all the chicanery around unseating Mrs. Brent. Okay, so we know that there was a lot of chicanery, there was a lot of false information, okay, in order to unseat her, and there was so much money that came in for that one seat, it is ridiculous. But that's for another show. Okay, that's for another podcast. Today we're going to focus on Mary Dankosky. So, um, typical boiling point style, we decided to do some research because we always research the information that we put out. And tonight I decided to use a very reliable source according to the liberal board members that sit at the West Shore School District. And that is their very own York Dispatch. Okay. Number one's fake news media in the United States of America. Second to Penn Lies. Okay. And I did find an article written by the Weasel herself, Meredith. So let's see what this article says. And I think this article is going to put in perspective not only if the candidate or now the school board member was a principal, but it will also help you understand why she is no longer a principal. Let me get a sip of water here. And let's start reading the article, shall we? Alrighty. So, this is the title of the article. Southern York hires right-wing Christian law firm to hear about politics on sports and parental rights. So every time we hear right-wing Christian law firm, we know who they're talking about, the Independence Law Center. And anything that is common sense to these people is right-wing. But let's continue. I am going to try, honestly, to make it through this article, okay, without interrupting myself and keeping my sarcasm to a minimum. I'm going to try. I'm not telling you that I'm going to make it, but I'm going to try, okay? All right, so let's go. Southern York County School District added a right-wing Christian law firm as a special counsel, growing the firm's client list in York County. Last month, Southern York County School Board President Nathan Henkel said the board needed to sign a contract before it could hear what the Harrisburg-based Independence Law Center had to say about certain policies. Henkel said he wants to hear from them on several issues, namely what athletic teams LGBTQ plus students can join. Several York County school districts that have consulted with the ILC, including Red Lion, and Southwestern, have already adopted such policies drafted by the ILC. Let's continue. The ILC rapidly expanded its influence this year, helping various districts draft policies related to book access and how LGBTQ plus students are treated. Most recently, it has advised Southwestern, North York County, and Dover area school boards. West Shore residents protested after learning their school board was meeting with the ILC. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut about that, but you guys know that this is fake news, right? Okay. During Thursday's meeting, residents spoke out against the law firm. Resident Leanna Feeser addressed the board Thursday night saying, I'm going to use my clout as the mother of one gay and one bisexual son to speak on why we, the parents of LGBTQ students, are effing terrified about the prospect of the IOC informing any decision about our schools and students. Okay. Another resident, Stephanie Muser, said the board is sending a clear message that only white, straight students are welcoming and deserving of respect in our school community. Okay. Let's go on. Therapist and resident Catherine Weber said the policies the ILC advances harm children. They have harmed children that I have worked with, she said, explaining she's tired of writing safety plans for children who think the world is hostile to them. And their only response is suicide. Henkel said the board wants to focus on respecting parental rights and families. If their counsel goes off the rails, then we can say no thank you, he said, adding the public debate over the IOC wouldn't discourage him from hearing from them. Board member Joe Wilson said any ILC policies will be handled in a public manner, as the board is doing with a policy that gives board members access to the buildings. Some of the board members, including Henkel, voiced they don't want the district solicitor, Jeffrey Litz, to be fired. They are happy with his work and want to continue to hear his advice. Student Representative Caroline Dunn pressed Henkel if he wanted to hear policies regarding transgender athletes in sports. He said he wanted to hear policies about students' participation in sports and how to ensure fairness. He added he would not want to prohibit a student from playing. The vote passed 7-2. Board members Elizabeth Doberman and James Hawley voted against the Independent Law Center. Bill Hall, Mary Lee Hall, Samantha Hall, Jeremy Hash, Jen Henkel, Nathan Henkel, and Wilson voted in favor. Thank God that they had board members with common sense in that district. Now, West Shore parents, please pay attention to this slide. The board also approved naming James Sterner, the assistant principal at Susquehanna, the principal. I think that could have been written a little better, don't you? Anyway, his salary will be $139,000 as of July 1st. The previous principal, Kevin Mullen, resigned his position after 10 years as the high school principal. Shrewsbury Elementary principal Mary Dankosky also resigned from her position. Let's read that again. Shrewsbury Elementary principal Mary Dankosky also resigned her position. Okay. So, parents, I think that the York Dispatch answered our question. Was Mary Dankosky a principal? Yes. So what happened? Well, she got a little bug up her nose, a little bee in her bonnet. Got a little bee in her bonnet about the Independence Law Center. And because she is a left-wing hack, not a bipartisan candidate, but a left-wing hack, a Democratic progressive, because she's not a conservative. She's a Democratic progressive. A lady that is looking to further indoctrinate our children, push her political agendas into our schools, and finish destroying the West Shore School District. This article proves to us that she's not about scholastic excellence. She's not about improving education. She's about woke indoctrination. Okay, that's what she's about. And I've been saying this for a bit, for a couple of years now. The West Shore School District needs to stop picking out or picking up what people put on the curb of the street. Okay? The recyclables, let's call them. Because resigning from your position because you do not agree with the policies is stupid. It's stupid. But now, you people voted her in. Okay, although she didn't have much of opposition, to be fair. Okay, but yet her booty is in a seat that shouldn't be in because she showed us that she lacks rationale when she stepped down to decide what's best for your kids. Really? But to further solidify what I'm saying, I have one more clip I want to show you. And this is from her own Facebook page, okay? And here it goes. Free speech advocates decry Trump's administration description of book bans as a hoax. And this is what she says. I just won't stand by and watch West Shore become the next headline like this. So she is not for common sense. She wants transgender bathrooms. She will fight to keep the graphic pornographic novels in our school. You know, those novels that Brian Geiswhite said that weren't there, and Tosto stated they weren't there, but Matthew Gay admitted that they were there all the time. You know, those books? Yeah. Okay. So if you look at what the kids are wearing and you see the signs, you see what she supports. But yet, she's going to look at you in the face and say that she's bipartisan and that she's all for all kids. Conservative parents of Region 1 of the West Shore School District. Conservative parents of Region 1 of the West Shore School District. You have options. You have options, okay? And you don't need to keep your children in the public school system, okay? You don't. And this is why I also say, parents, and the people who are hearing me, if you're looking to buy a home or, get an apartment, and you see West Shore School District as the district, look elsewhere. Look elsewhere. Okay? Because you're going to have to deal with these kind of school board members that don't give two flying figs about your kids. They care about indoctrination. They care about state funding. They care about federal funding. It is the education industrial complex in its totality who is running the board right now. Okay. They could care less what your views are. They can care less about your rights. You go and you speak about your rights as a parent. You go and you speak that you don't want boys in girls' bathroom. You do believe that girls should have their own sports, the right to their own sports when it comes to Title IX. And you will be labeled as an extremist by these people, and especially by this lady. So if you're looking for a house, an apartment to rent, and you see the West Shore School District as a district, run. Take it as a sign of God to run. Just run as fast as you can. Run, Forrest, run. So they are, like I stated, cyber school, charter schools, private schools, religious schools, and homeschools. Okay, there are options. There are options out there, okay, that will offer your child a better education than what the West Shore School District can offer, because what they're going to offer is a lack of education. Okay. So run. So again, we believe that their own buddies, the York Dispatch, couldn't spell it out any better, okay, as to why this lady stepped down as a principal, okay, because her politics, her agenda, her views, okay, her woke agendas, her pornographic books, it's more important to her than educating your child and preparing your child for the future. So there's your answer, guys. If you do not like the reply, Don't ask the question. But please keep in mind that elections have consequences. They do. And when you decide not to get involved in your community and you decide not to run, okay, you are allowing the lunacy and the chaos that we're seeing today and in our society to continue. Okay. And if you're going to allow that, then prepare your child as to what to possibly expect. Okay. But like I stated, even better, do not allow your child to attend a school under the West Shore School District banner. Okay. Because they are about ideologies and agendas and not about education. Look at the state scores and convince yourself they're not about education. And don't rent, don't buy here. Don't rent, don't buy here. Okay. And get involved in your community. Get involved in these elections. Run for office. Okay. Because we actually need people with common sense. We actually need people with common sense and backbone. And the backbone has to be a backbone of steel. Okay. To run in this district. So this is Mariana from the Boiling Point. I hope this will enlighten you a little bit and answer your question. And Jonathan will be with us shortly, soon. Okay, he's just getting some things, in place that he needs to get in place. And we'll talk next week. God bless you. Good night. And if you're looking to move into the West Shore School District, don't run, Forrest, run. This is Mariana from the Boiling Point, signing off.
Trapped again, and fate as always hasn't wrapped again. I always get caught in my life of sin, but I just keep on going back again. You know I'm lost again, when all I wanted was to find a friend, someone that I can always depend on to help me find my life again.